Good afternoon and welcome to Westmark's West Valley is Open for Business virtual tours. This is a series that we started last year when the world kind of changed on us, and we looked for some creative ways to bring the information to you since you weren't able to get out. I'm happy to say that this program has grown over the last several months, and today we have over 100 folks registered and joining us as we speak. And I am personally really excited about the two projects that we're going to hear about today. Prasada, Sterling Grove, the new Toll Brothers project in Surprise, and the Villages at Prasada. And they both hold really near and dear affection to my heart because years ago I worked in the city of Surprise and had the opportunity to work close to the Prasada project. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Mike Hoover, who is with the City of Surprise and our moderator today and the chair of the Westmark Economic Development Committee. Mike?
Hey, thank you, Centra. And it's still January, so I think we can still say Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, all of our friends and colleagues over at Westmark, and Happy New Year to the wonderful two guests that we have here today. I am really excited about this conversation. I get the pleasure of working on the Economic Development Committee and engaging with a lot of the new businesses that are coming into the West Valley, using this particular platform to promote them. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I was especially excited today, because my role in the City of Surprise is really looking towards the future and looking for the advancement of this community. And these two projects are absolute beautiful projects that are going to help create that legacy on the 303 that has been envisioned for the last 20 years. And that time is now. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our two panelists real quickly, and then we're going to jump into our first project, which is Sterling Grove. So Dan Ray is the Division Vice President with Toll Brothers. He's going to be kicking off the conversation today. And Dan, if you'd like to say hello to all of our friends and colleagues in the West Valley that are excited to learn about your project, and then I'll introduce Josh Simon after that. I think you're on mute there.
Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, Westmark, for inviting us to be able to present Sterling Grove today.
Thank you. And so following up after the Sterling Grove presentation, again, I know our communities are always looking for a lot of amenities, and what Simon CRE is doing at the Village of Prasada is just so exciting for our community, and it absolutely is an aspirational project that we've had on the books for a long time. Josh, I just want to say thank you for being a part of our community. And Josh Simon, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Hey guys, Josh Simon, Simon CRE. Thanks for having us, Mike. And you know, the biggest thanks is to the City of Surprise, Council, and staff, just because we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for you guys and you guys helping push the project along and just being such an instrumental part of explaining, because like you said, this has been planned for decades, if not longer in the making. And so we're excited to bring this hopefully to fruition.
Hey, thanks again, Josh, and wonderful to have you here. So Dan, I'll go ahead and turn over reins to you. And as I see questions come in through the chat, I may politely interrupt with some questions that are pertinent to your part of the presentation. Just a reminder to any of our friends and colleagues that are participating today, you can participate in the conversation through the chat feature, and I'll be more than happy to share those questions with our two esteemed guests. Dan, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Well, thanks very much, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Dan Ray. I'm the Division Vice President for Toll Brothers here at Sterling Grove. Really excited to kind of give you a little glimpse into our community, but certainly invite everyone to come out and see us. We are open for the public, and love to have you. So Sterling Grove, let's see. There we go. Sterling Grove is located really right off the 303, as Mike kind of alluded to. If you've seen a lot of growth in that 303 corridor, it was a site that we recognized that had a really amazing opportunity So we're located right off the 303 and Cactus Road. In Sterling Grove, it comprises 2,200 homes. It has numerous parks and a large amenity offering, and it's all intertwined within an 18-hole Nicklaus designed golf course. So we're really excited about the location, being in the city of Surprise. The city has been wonderful to work with. They've been hand in hand and very instrumental in helping us get this project off the ground. Sterling Grove was, we opened for sales in January of 2020, and to date we've sold more than 200 homes so far. We actually have over 100 people actually living here now, calling Sterling Grove home. So that's really exciting. You know, I've been working on this project for about 4 years, and it's great to now have residents and people, you know, walking their dog or taking walks or meeting at the community parks and really developing that sense of community. So that's been a very special part of the development of this community, is to see people actually living there and being part of the community. The inspiration of Sterling Grove was agriculture. You know, prior to us purchasing this land, it was an active farm, and we felt it was important to honor the legacy of that land and incorporate some of those concepts of agriculture and farming, things that the West Valley has been known for years, into the design of our community. You know, those things go, you know, we introduce things such as groves or agricultural weirs, things that move water, and that's evident throughout the site. And we really wanted to give, you know, like I said here, honoring the legacy of the land. You know, Sterling Grove is different, and this is what we're really proud about. Sterling Grove is different than other master plan communities in Phoenix by design. You know, gone are desert landscaping and brown and beige homes. We've set that aside and introduced classic timeless architecture with, you know, with lush green belts and parks, and then it beckons a more of a mid-century feel than what we traditionally see. And we consider Sterling Grove an ageless community. And what I mean by that is we have something for everyone. We offer 8 collections of homes with over 29 floor plans, you know, ranging from 1,500 square feet to 4,200 square feet. So there's really something for everybody here at Sterling Grove. We have parcels that are age restricted or active adult, folks that are 55 or better. And then we have parcels that are for single family or folks of any age. So we really want to be a very inclusive community of everyone, and everyone is welcome here. You know, one nice event that we just started, we kicked back off last week, is we do offer a farmers market here every other Thursday from 10 to 1 p.m. And we have about 50 vendors, and we have a large event area for that. And so these are all local vendors that, you know, we welcome the general public to come out, take a look at Sterling Grove, and then also go to the farmers market. So that's every other Thursday, and that's available on our website for that, those dates and times. We're super excited. We just opened up the Nicklaus designed golf course to our members last Saturday. And I see Mike's happy there. We plan on opening up that course to the public in February as well. So that's really exciting to get folks out on the course and just see everything that Sterling Grove is, because it's a pretty special site. And at the same time, we built the golf course. We're also constructing our phase 1 clubhouse as well, which will comprise 3 swimming pools, 2 restaurants, tennis, pickleball, bocce ball, its own spa. So there's just a lot of great amenities offered here at Sterling Grove, and anyone who purchases a home at Sterling Grove is automatically a social member of the club and can use all those facilities. If they do want to play golf, golf is an additional membership fee. We really, sorry, I jumped ahead. We really wanted to design Sterling Grove as a place where you can come and you never need to leave, that you have everything here. We're, you know, I think from health and fitness and community events, we've really created an extremely special place here. We are open for sales. I think it's probably important to make sure everyone knows that. We have an open concept in our sales office where we are practicing social distancing and masks are required. But we are open for the public, and we've had some amazing traffic, but for all those that, if you are concerned, we do take necessary health protocols in and are very we're very making sure that we're keeping in compliance with that, because that's important right now. And like you said, you know, Sterling Grove is a multi-generational community, ageless, as I talked about. Here we can see this is our model park, and the building closest to us right there is our sales office. And then just to the right of that, we offer our own standalone design studio on site as well. And, you know, talking a little bit about architecture, you know, we offer various from farmhouse to traditional Spanish to craftsman design to 2 stories for those with a growing family. And then what Toll Brothers is known for are luxury products. So we offer, like I said, there's something for everybody here at Sterling Grove. And one thing that's really set Toll Brothers apart from our competition is how we introduce indoor-outdoor living. And so every home, regardless of size, regardless of what parcel it in, has a indoor-outdoor component designed to it. And we've been, you know, we recently won 4 awards from the National Association of Home Builders for our architecture, our interior design, our landscaping. There's another one with some interior design awards. Here's a look at our design studio. And then I was saving this picture last for Mike. That is a picture of number 10, our golf course here at Sterling Grove. So we're really excited to welcome all of you out to Sterling Grove. Thank you for letting me present Sterling Grove, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Well, thanks for finishing with the golf course view there, Dan. That's that is actually majestic. I do have a couple of questions about the significance of this project in the Toll Brothers portfolio. This is a very ambitious project, even for a developer like Toll Brothers. Can you talk a little bit about why they had the confidence in the West Valley, in this part of the West Valley, to make this investment for such an ambitious project?
Absolutely, Mike. It's very simple. It's the first rule of real estate is location, location, location. With the growth of the 303, we're close to the I-10 corridor. We can see all the growth, the tech growth, the distribution growth, all the medical industry that's in Surprise and the West Valley. It just made sense, and we didn't want to just be an active adult community. We felt we could create a luxury resort community that quite honestly wasn't developed on the west side. And we saw an opportunity and working with the city, and it just made sense.
So you have several years of planning, working through kind of the program that you want to try to deliver into the West Valley, and then you open just before the world changed. Can you talk a little bit about the success and the challenges that you've had opening up such an amazing project in a pandemic?
Yeah, like all of us, 2020 was a crazy year. We opened up on January 25th. Was our opening weekend, and we had more than 5,000 people show up. Just a tremendous response, and that held true until, unfortunately, the world changed in March. And at that point, we just had to, we had to learn how to live in this new world. And obviously, a year ago, not a lot of us were using Zoom and FaceTime and all of that, and we learned how to integrate that into selling, and selling virtually, and selling by appointment only or in smaller groups. And you're handed a situation and you just learn to adapt. And I think that's what we did, and we were still fortunately successful in selling and getting this product to market, even under some horrible circumstances that all of us are facing.
So the adaptation, and let's talk a little bit about actually the selling specifically, the characteristics of the individuals that are walking through the project and buying homes. Looking at some of the meeting notes I've had with some of your colleagues, it looks like it's trending younger than maybe you originally planned. What do you think is contributing to that younger demographic seeing Sterling Grove as a place to set up roots?
I think it's the special community feel. I think it's an amazing place to raise a family. When we talk multi-generational, what's really cool to see is maybe grandma and grandpa are buying in the age-restricted parcel, but their children are buying in the market section and raising their family there, but the larger family is together. So I think that's had a lot of it. I think younger people starting a family but seeing the growth potential on the west side of Phoenix, I think that's come into play. And Mike, you bring up a great point. It did kind of catch us a little bit. It was a little surprising, but a welcoming surprise. And we adapted to that. We actually just recently introduced 4 new plans that are more bedroom-centric family plans that can accommodate those larger families. So the great thing about how we designed, we haven't designed this entire community yet. We're about 60% design. And that's done by, sorry to keep using the same word, that's done by design so we can adapt to market changes.
So it's interesting you're talking about the adaptation and not being tied into a specific design. One of the pieces I remember a year ago was when you're talking about trying to capture green space in a unique way. Can you talk about kind of the 24-hour ability that the golf course provides for green space?
Well, yeah, it's a concept we came up with because everybody who purchased here has access to all the amenities except golf. And we got to thinking, golf is really only operating, call it 10 to 12 hours a day. At the other times, it's not being used. So we came up with the concept where we are lighting all our golf cart paths with Ballard lighting and allowing all residents to be able to use those walking paths when golf isn't going on. And it just adds a really nice, who doesn't want to walk down a golf course, with, you and your wife after dinner or something, go take a nice stroll and through a nice lighted pathway. And it just brings, it just makes everybody a little more together and not, we didn't want it's strictly golf, where it was only certain people that could use that, we felt that it had a lot more use than just golf.
Dan, I'm trying to remember. Do you remember how much more pathways it created into the project for hikers and walkers? I'm trying to remember what it was. Was it close to 3 miles? Or?
It's a little more than that. It's about 4.7 miles of walking paths that get created by utilizing the golf course. So it's and we'll only open certain sections as we build in those parcels. Then we'll light those paths where they're at. So that's at completion. It'll be about 4.7 miles.
Well,
in addition to numerous other paths and walking and hiking areas that we have here at Sterling Grove as well, which makes it well over at completion well over 15 miles.
So before we transition over to Josh, I want to thank you for not only the presentation but this type of engagement, because I'm very privileged to be able to kind of watch this project grow and learn about some of the innovation that you're seeing and some of the surprises that you're seeing as well with the customers that are coming in and picking the forever homes in Sterling Grove. What would you say from someone that's coming in from New York or another part of the country is maybe the quintessential thing that you'd want them to leave with if they're thinking about the West Valley and what Sterling Grove in the West Valley is?
Well, selfishly, I think what we really want to instill to those folks that come to Sterling Grove is that it looks and it feels different than anything else that's out on the market. It's unique. It's green. It's lush. It beckons, more of a Pasadena or even Arcadia, but or Midwestern, and it really is a very comforting to show something different. So that's selfishly what I want folks to get out of Sterling Grove. And then grander than that is the West Side is up and coming, and there's we really instill in there the employment opportunities, the great medical care, the numerous amenities and restaurants and shopping that are out here. I mean, the West Valley is coming into its own, and it's really got a great future. And that's been our message since day one.
Wonderful. Well, great message, and we're glad to carry it with you.
Well, and we appreciate all the support from Westmark and the City of Surprise in this project as well. So once again, thank you for having me today.
Thanks, Dan. So Joshua Simon's going to be joining us for the second part of this presentation. And Centra kind of alluded to it, and Josh did as well, that this is something that I think our community's wanted for the last several decades. And I would argue this is not only the most ambitious project in the City of Surprise, but arguably in the whole Metro Phoenix. And I'm real excited for Josh to share the kind of the vision of the village at Posada, but also kind of where this thing is going right now as we speak. So Josh, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, how long? I think this project in some ways been planned for how many decades now? But we're excited because our group, we're going to bring it home. So thanks for having us today. Go into the next. There we go. Let's see here. There we go. So Simon CRE, just a quick about us. We've been in business for 10 years. I started the company 10 years ago. We develop all over the country. We've done 201 projects all over the country, but the ones we're most excited about are the ones close to home. And then going down, so just team-wise, there's 40 of us here in Phoenix, and we'll do about probably 50 projects this year. But this project is obviously very special and near and dear to our hearts. So the Village at Posada has always been, originally was a mall concept decades ago. And obviously, as things changed, and especially in the last year, that's no longer feasible. And so we got involved about a year ago, which, right, similar to what Dan was saying, end of January, that's right when we were getting started, gung ho, and then, kind of a punch in the gut came with COVID. But, I think it was actually one of the best opportunities for us on this project, because the amount of tenant interest that has stayed with us and actually accelerated shows how strong the West Valley is and how important this project is. And, like Dan said, all the growth, where the future is, how the cities have worked together, and with Westmark, and, you have the Loop 303 here. And so we are really well positioned here. And so right now we're working on our entitlements and getting our offsites lined up. Costco obviously opened in September of last year, and I know they're very, very happy with the store. And I think one big thing that a lot of retailers will look for when they're looking at new locations is what's the cannibalization. And Costco having 2 stores on the west side, I think there was probably other retailers that would say, hey, that's going to cannibalize our nearest stores. And I think what Costco's seen so far is that really hasn't been the case, which is really exciting here. We recently, if go to the next page here, we recently started on the very northeast side of Prasada Parkway in Waddell, which that image flips in Costco's parking lot. We just started construction on a small coffee user and a multi-tenant shops building. We're planning on the west side of Costco there, we're planning on starting construction on several small shop buildings. We've got, fast food, Jersey Mike's, Arby's, we've got a few other small shop users. And that should hopefully start later this spring or early summer. And then moving to kind of the west side of Prasada Parkway, which, is along the 303, we're breaking this up into a couple phases. We're super excited that we are currently negotiating a contract with an entertainment type user for the very southwest corner of the site, which you can see is that kind of that blue box in the lower corner there. And then the phase 2, which we're focused up towards the north where it says the Loop 303 on your screen. We have several LOIs with national retailers, and we're at lease with several national retailers, but not just nationals. We're really excited. We're talking to a lot of local concepts, local restaurateurs, really wanting to bring a destination retail, but also a mix of unique and fun concepts for the area. And then, yep.
Hey, Josh, real quick. So again, to kind of the layman who's maybe seeing this site plan for the first time, but we alluded to that this was something aspirational for the community for the last decade and a half, if not 2 decades. Talk about, from a developer perspective, coming into a community that has those expectations, and then the types of partners that you're going to need, whether it's a long-term landholder, the developer partner who's adjacent to you, and then building your own team. How did you kind of navigate that with the expectation and the desire that the community has?
Well, it's tough to balance everyone's expectations, but, luckily we have great partners, at the city. You guys have been great. And then also the seller, the adjoining landholders. Like, our goal is to build a product that will last generations. We want this to be the anchor of the community and Surprise for a long time to come. And we've been very selective on the types of tenants we've been picking, and really focused on curating a tenant lineup that is there to last. And, as we announce tenants, I think you'll see that these are the best of the best. And the retailers that we're working with now, they made it through this last, arguably the hardest year ever in retail history. They've made it through it and accelerated through it. And so we're super excited there. I think managing, we've never developed them all. This will be our largest project, but for me, this is a career builder opportunity. We've done a lot of smaller projects. We're doing a lot bigger projects on the west side, like one down by Verrado. But we're really excited about this because I think it presents an opportunity to look at this a little differently than most people might have approached it in the past.
How many acres is the project in total that you are representing, Josh?
So all of it, including that future phase component, is about 84. We expect the retail component and maybe some medical, which would be about 56 acres. Total size will be about 500,000 square feet. That includes the Costco. We've got commitments, interests from over 500,000 square feet of retailers. And I think a lot of it is timing. A challenge today, and I'm sure Dan's seeing this on, their pro formas, are costs. Construction costs have gone way up. And so, hey, how do you engineer? We want to build a first-class product here too, but cost of steel, lumber, everything's more expensive. And so, it's weighing a lot of those items right now. And then I think for the look and feel, go next page here. This is going to be these are our two shop buildings. The architecture is modern, but kind of throwback modern. But then also our goal is, growing up in Phoenix, there's so many amazing centers, but I feel like a lot of them have the same feel. And just like Dan's project, I love those elevations, those different vibes. I think it's so important that you give different personalities to different parts of the shopping center. I think that's what people want. They just don't want to see the same old thing as they drive down 500,000 feet of retail. And I think it's really important for us to create that unique shopping experience and really, customize it for the types of tenants we have. And then I think there's one more page there. Go down. I can't. And then I'd say, so, why Surprise? I mean, obviously, I don't need to speak to this. Mike, you're way better at this than me, but the West Valley is where it's at. I'll echo what Dan said. So we've done a lot of projects on the East Valley, and the East Valley has a lot going on, but what the West Valley has is infrastructure. The 303 is such a game changer. I was down in very, very southeast Queen Creek a couple of weeks ago and stuck in traffic. Like, it seemed like forever just to get up to a freeway. And I think you guys have really done a really good job of building that infrastructure down there. And then next. And then this obviously gives you can see the Sterling Grove project on our aerial there, but that gives you kind of a bird's eye view. Looks like a lot of land, but I think in the next few years, most of that's going to be rooftops, which we're super excited about. And go back one more. And, I really just want to say again, thank you to the City of Surprise. Mike, you guys have done such a good job, and Heather with just explaining what's going on out here, which, that helps, bring in tenants when we can explain the growth, show where it's coming from, and staff just with planning and, working through. Obviously, when you have a project that was planned for a mall, there's different challenges, whether it's roadway, traffic. And so staff and council and you guys have just been so great to work with, and I wanted to say thank you on that.
Well, Josh, thank you. It's always exciting for the Surprise team to be engaged with a project that's bringing so much of what the community wants. But when we talk about community, we are the West Valley, and what's so interesting about whether it's the 9 car dealerships that are just down the road, the size of the Sterling Grove project, the incredible industry that's come up the 303 over the last 5 years, is really that infrastructure has allowed for that community boundary to really go all the way up to I-17 and arguably go down to the new 202. And so it's created a larger market, but also I think it's created larger benefit for a larger area. And so are you seeing when you are looking at these assets that are either complementary or analogous to your success, maybe not being just in what's across the street, but what's actually within a short drive for you? So how would you describe that? Because I think that is, again, unique right now in the West Valley, and it's very special.
As far as just this project, this property in particular?
Yeah.
Well, I think, look, you've had a dearth of retail built over the last 10 years, right? And so, I mean, something of this size, hasn't definitely not been built in, Phoenix Metro in, a decade. And I think there's only a handful in the Southwest that have been. And so I think you have demand out here. And I think Costco was such a huge step in showing that, hey, the demand is there and it's real. And I think that's been a huge part. But also, I mean, there's, it's funny you talk about this project, and everyone I've talked to, somebody, oh, I remember I had a leasing plan on that, or I was working on this deal there. And so I think it's gone on for so long, or as an original project. And now I think now people really feel it and they're getting excited. And the tenants that we have, I mean, the amount of interest from different entertainment concepts, and it's really exciting.
So kind of taking off of the excitement of the project you're building, Dan, what does that mean for you to have this type of commercial coming into really an amenity characteristic for your new residents? What does it mean for you guys?
It's fantastic. I mean, Costco alone was a game changer, and to see what Josh and his team are adding to that, and adding that entertainment component, and additional shopping and additional restaurants is fantastic. And we're excited for them because it'll benefit our residents and help us sell more homes. And then conversely, I think then our folks are going to go frequent those places. So it's a win-win for all of us, including the city and the West Valley. So it's exciting to see.
Thank you. And I want to thank both of you for your time. I see Centra has been taking a lot of notes while we've been engaged, so I didn't know if she had any questions, but it was a lot of fun for me to be able to kind of flush out some of the things that we've been talking about for the last year, and really the excitement that we're seeing come out of the ground. Centra, I didn't know if you had any questions you'd like to ask, but we have a little bit of time, and I'm very glad to facilitate that.
Absolutely. So Mike, did we get to all the questions in the chat box first?
Yes, I had a few in the chat box, and we are caught up. My homework is done for now.
Okay, awesome. Well, first I wanted to answer one of your questions to Dan earlier when you asked about what does it feel like out in Sterling Grove. And I will tell you, from someone who's been there multiple times, because I love the community. It feels really high end. It feels very luxurious. It feels, I love the indoor outdoor living concept, and the opportunity to enjoy the Arizona weather close to home. You also asked about, what does a project like this mean for folks who live out of state, who are coming in from New York and other parts of the country. And again, I'll go back to that indoor outdoor concept. It's pretty amazing, just the ability to enjoy the Arizona weather within your environment, and also within the community. I do see other activity and opportunities for neighbors to network. But again, having those courtyards and everything about it just feels pretty incredible. But one of the things that Josh has also spent some time pointing out is all the conveniences within that neighborhood. And sometimes you don't necessarily see that a lot. But when you look at that map, that overview of what's happening, the numbers that are being driven by that Costco, and the number of employment opportunities that are within that area, Sterling Grove is absolutely positioned perfectly off the 303, near to retail opportunities, near to employment opportunities. It's really a gem in the West Valley. And I know we've said this multiple times during the discussion, but this really is the project, and one of the projects that the West Valley residents have been waiting for. And a lot of times, we've been kind of fighting a perception of, who we were, people might think that we still are. So projects like this, an investment by Toll, really, it's a pretty big stamp, and it's a pretty big arrow pointing to this area, showing that the demographics are definitely driving the need for this type of project. So thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and we've got a house for you.
All true.
So Centra, this might be the year of efficiencies. We're actually about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. So if it's okay with you, I'll let everybody get back to kind of their daily routine on a Tuesday. But this is also being recorded, so this will be on the Westmark website. Also, we'll be sharing it with both projects so they can use it in their marketing. and both projects are available for follow-ups and other questions. And if you have any challenges making that connection, either reach out to Centra or myself. We're very glad to represent all the wonderful projects in the West Valley, and these two epitomize that for sure. And Dan, thank you for your time. Josh, thank you for your time, and very best to you for the 21. Centra, I have one more thing.
Of course, I always have one more thing. You know, this program itself has brought much attention and to folks that are now able to see what's happening in the West Valley from the convenience of their own homes or their office computer. They don't have to do the drive, so it's really grown. And as a result, we're launching 2 new programs this year. One is Industry Spotlights, it's also on our website, and that's the opportunity for us to bring together the employment partners and connect them with the education partners, and also bring job seekers in, because as you all know, our goal is to make sure that our residents are working close to home. Another program that we're kicking off at the end of this month, January 27th, is called West Valley Hot Topics. And we'll be kicking it off with an overview of the demographics within the West Valley and the infrastructure improvements. And those are 2 things that came up pretty strongly today as driving factors. And so that's why we're bringing these hot topics to our audiences every other month. So tune into our westmark.org and check them all out. And we will certainly be seeing you soon. So thank you for joining us today again. And Mike, always a great job. Dan, Josh, amazing projects, and excited that you're in the West Valley and making these investments. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year.